video here. Look for it in an upcoming part. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out part 1. We begin today in the shadows of the mountains where I grew up, in Provo, Utah, and Provo City Cemetery. If you're a fan of television, you can thank Philo T. Farnsworth. He was an inventor credited as the man who invented television, or more accurately, the all-electric television system. The farm boy from Beaver, Utah had the inspiration for the electric image dissector while plowing a field, row by row, realizing an electron beam could scan an image in a similar way, line by line. In 1927,
How you doing?
camera tube transmitted television's very first image, a horizontal line. In 1929, the system was improved, transmitting the first image of a live human being, his wife Thelma, who is also buried here.
Don't work?
You might then say that Thelma Farnsworth was television's very first star. In 1930, Farnsworth received a patent for the first totally electronic television system, and by the end of his career held hundreds for television technology, but also radio and nuclear technology as well. East now to Providence, Rhode Island, and Swan Point Cemetery. Fans of horror and science fiction will recognize this next name, H.P. Lovecraft.
Hey, what's up, Aggie? How you doing, bud?
Remained relatively unknown during his life, publishing mainly in pulp magazines, but is now regarded as one of the most significant.
It's been while doing watching, so why not? You know?
He's best known today for his Cthulhu mythos.
Hey, don't worry, I'm still gonna do my YouTube channel on my Xbox sometime today. I don't know when, but I will do it sometime today. I'm probably to that, man.
And the popularity of Lovecraft grew, becoming a major influence on modern writers of horror and science fiction, including Stephen King. His work has also inspired countless adaptations in film, television, games, and music. In Mesa Cemetery in Arizona, we find the grave of Waylon Jennings. He was a country musician remembered for hits like I'm a Ramblin' Man and Good-Hearted Woman. Over the span of his career, he had 16 #1 country singles. He's also known for writing and performing the theme from The Dukes of Hazzard.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
In 1959, Jennings gave up his plane seat to the Big Bopper, the ill-fated flight that would crash a short time later, killing Bopper, Buddy Holly, and Richie Valens. This would haunt Jennings for the rest of his life. Jennings died of complications from diabetes at the age of 64. From sun-soaked to snow-covered, we now...
I don't know, I might sort of do my live stream in my YouTube channel on my Xbox as well. I'm not sure. I'm probably not gonna do that anyway, because it's too much going on today. I can't do it at the both at the same time. I can't do live stream in a video on my YouTube channel, so it wouldn't not make sense in a way.
Everybody changes back again. That's a fine way to behave. You know who he takes after.
He was nominated for 2 Oscars in his career, both posthumous, for his roles in East of Eden and Giant. The untimely death of a young star often has the unintended consequence of cementing the star's legendary status. They do not diminish, nor do they wither, but in the moment in which they shine brightest, are in an instant cut off from us, and we are left with the image of that brightness burned into our minds forever. James Dean grew to love fast cars and racing. In September 1955, Dean was traveling north to a racing event. While traveling along State Road 46, a Ford turned left into his lane. Unable to stop in time, Dean's Porsche slammed to the passenger side of the Ford, sending Dean's car careening off to the side of the highway, at an intersection now known as James Dean Memorial Junction. His injuries were fatal, passing away at just 24. A few blocks south of the cemetery is a gallery and museum to one of Indiana's favorite sons. Our Lady Queen of Heaven is a Catholic cemetery in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Here we find musician Jaco Pastorius. He's considered one of the great electric bassists of all time, known for playing jazz and funk. He was a member of the jazz fusion band Weather Report from 1976 to 1981. Jaco died at the age of 35 from injuries sustained in a fight at a club. To honor his legacy, Fender Guitars released the Jaco Pastorius signature jazz bass. In Gotha, Florida, and Woodlawn Memorial Park, Section O, we find television's favorite painter, Bob Ross. He began teaching painting classes in Florida, and after a period of seminars in shopping malls, began hosting a half-hour painting instructional TV series on PBS. Inspired by his predecessor and mentor, Bill Alexander, who had a show called The Magic of Oil Painting. Ross's show, The Joy of Painting, ran from 1983 to 1994. In each episode, Ross taught techniques for oil painting landscapes, finishing an entire painting in each session. Ross became well known for his distinctive style, serene delivery, and catchphrases like "happy little trees" and "we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents."
Maybe there's a happy tree, evergreen tree. He lives right there. Start with just touching the canvas. Use just the corner of the brush, just the corner, and begin pushing, making the bristles bend slightly downward. See there? Look at that. Isn't that a nice little tree? And he lives right here in this brush.
Ross was diagnosed with lymphoma in 1994. The disease claimed his life at the age of... Welcome to Hollywood Graveyard, where we set out to remember and celebrate the lives of those who lived to entertain us by visiting their final resting places. Today we're headed to the Inland Empire and Desert Memorial Park, where we'll find such stars as Frank Sinatra, Betty Hutton, Sonny Bono, and many more. Join us, won't you? Where do Angelinos go when it's a bitterly cold 58 degrees outside? We head inland to the desert. Where did stars of yesteryear go to get out of town and party? They headed inland to the resort town of Palm Springs. Where do stars of today go to get out of town and party? Well, they too head inland to the Coachella Valley. Today we're following in their footsteps, seeking warmer climes in the Inland Empire, the desert backdrop of some of your favorite movies and TV shows, where many stars had vacation homes, others would eventually retire, and others still would spend eternity here. Palm Springs and the Inland Empire embrace their role as Hollywood's desert playground, with street names like Kirk Douglas Way, Dinah Shore Drive, and Pickfair Street. Statues of stars like Lucille Ball, Marilyn Monroe, and Buddy Rogers. And the Mary Pickford Theater. Palm Springs even has its own Walk of Fame. Palm Springs is about a 2-hour drive east of Hollywood. It's a beautiful and scenic drive, and en route you'll pass through the awe-inspiring wind farms in the San Gorgonio Pass. Thousands of whirling wind turbines sprout from the desert like massive white flowers. The future of energy is green, clean, and beautiful. We'll break up our time here in the Inland Empire into 2 videos. For this first part, we'll head just east of Palm Springs to Cathedral City and Desert Memorial Park, where many stars who so loved the desert would eventually be laid to rest. Here, where the unrelenting desert sun has baked and bleached many headstones to near illegibility. Desert Memorial Park was founded in 1956 as part of the Palm Springs Cemetery District. There are a number of monuments to veterans here as well, including America's first monument specifically honoring LGBTQ veterans, dedicated in 2001.
Losing a child is every parent's worst nightmare. And if anyone knows this, it's Jacob and Tashana Armstrong. As if the loss wasn't bad enough, someone seemed to be taunting them. Only they didn't realize it until the couple visited their son's grave at
Welcome to Hollywood Graveyard. Today I turn the camera over to you, the Hollywood Graveyard community, as we travel the world to visit famous and historical graves in your neck of the woods. Together we'll cross the country and eventually the oceans to pay our respects to legends around the globe, like Selena, Jane Mansfield, Ava Gardner, and many more. My friends, the time is yours. Welcome to Hollywood Graveyard, where we set out to remember and celebrate the lives of those who lived to entertain us by visiting their final resting places. Today we're visiting LA Cathedral and St. Matthew's Church, where we'll find such stars as Charlton Heston, Gregory Peck, and June Marlowe. Join us, won't you? Many stars are men and women of faith, as we've seen when visiting various Catholic and Jewish cemeteries in LA. For some, though, their desired final resting place is right on the grounds of a house of worship. Today we'll be visiting two of these houses of worship, St. Matthew's Episcopal Church and the Los Angeles Cathedral. So put on your Sunday best. We're going to church. We'll begin way out west in Pacific Palisades at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church. The parish of St. Matthew was organized in the 40s, and this church was built in the early 1980s. Fans of Mel Brooks will be interested to know that this is where the wedding scene in Spaceballs was filmed.
Who the hell are you? Prince Lone Star.
Prince?
I just found out. That's what this says. I'm an honest-to-God prince. Will you marry me?
Over the years, this church has become home to some of Hollywood's devout, including legendary actor Charlton Heston. After his death in 2008, Heston's ashes were placed in a niche in the Garden Columbarium on the grounds of the church. Broad-shouldered, square-jawed, and with a commanding voice, Charlton Heston was built for the roles in historical and biblical epics for which he became so well known. Roles like Judah Ben-Hur in 1959's Ben-Hur, a role which earned him an Oscar. Also as the title character in El Cid, and as Moses in Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments.
For this you shall drink bitter waters. God has set before you this day his laws of life and good and death and evil. Those who will not live.
The only way to beat a box of cheesy, crunchy, fully loaded nachos is more.